Generations of trees. Carob trees. Look how Mount Arbel is bursting with life. So today we're up above the road where we were walking yesterday on Shabbat, and this morning we are up higher, and that the road was already a lot above the water. Some people commented that it was difficult to hear with the cars yesterday, so we're up a little bit higher today. I can hear them very clearly, but I'm not sure if the microphone is picking up that noise in a way that interferes with you. It's interesting, some animals, I'm not sure if it's the cows or maybe the wild boar or what has eaten off a lot of the tops, but here there are some tops intact. Most of the ones I saw this morning on the way here were all eaten, gobbled up the top of them. So we have all this new life here. They're obviously growing for a while. One of our thistles, so many thistles in Mount Arbel. They'd be sharp enough to keep back a Roman army here. We were promised more rain tonight, so that was one of the motivations, or this evening, for me to come up here while it's dry. It's about as dry as it will be now for another couple of days. Apparently the rain is only going to be for a few hours this evening. And then, look at this, look at the colours. The different greens. And as far as I can see, these are just leaves, they're not flowers, okay? These more yellow ones, the lighter green ones on top of the green plants, the bushes. We'll get closer to some of them in a moment. I don't know if you're happy walking here, or if you'd even be happier with the bicycle trail that goes down there. I think you need a good sense of balance. Look at this lush growth here. Mostly nettles. So what does it mean to be baptized? And the discussion came up yesterday as well with some visitors, and because of a sunset live stream 2 days ago and comments that were made. We already got some of those in December, even before Christmas, but they're all over the place right now. And again, I don't remember the name. I know you've told me a bunch of times, but this is early in the morning for me, so be patient with me. So what does it mean to be baptized? And there's a lot about that today in the readings from Isaiah, not specifically about baptism, but it's the characteristic of what goes on today in the story of Jesus' baptism. Look at all these, and are they Anenomes or some name like this you give them? They're in rocky areas, usually they even grow on rock face very beautifully. It seems they do with very little. They don't need a foot of rich earth. They're happy with... They're so delicate, they need a little protection. But they're very happy there with very little. They're so tender. A lot of them along here as well. Oh, I missed another purple plant. It was back there, but I'm not going back. Oh, there's the sun. It's very peaceful this morning here. Sea of Galilee is very quiet. You see here, they're not really flowers, are they? Oh, there's a bee here, so maybe there are flowers. Maybe some of them are more advanced. That's chilly for this bee to be out so early. They usually come out when the sun is really out and warming up. So if we combine the letter of the text from Isaiah with the gospel account today, there's something very striking and common. Well, a bunch of things really, but attitudes. Let's go to attitudes. There's a big game plan involved about establishing justice. And obviously everybody knows we need that, because there's so much injustice, so much harm to the innocent, so much destruction of human life, so much destruction of our world that God has given us, a beautiful habitat for humanity, with all its challenges. So much injustice. And Isaiah's text is promising the establishment of justice, and that God is not going to stop until there's fullness of justice. And what we need to learn here is then how God is seeing justice maybe in a little different way than we see it. There's a small plane flying high over the Sea of Galilee. And it says, a smoldering wick he will not quench. So if there's a little bit of life in that fire, he's not going to quench it. He's going to bring it back to full life. He's establishing justice. If a reed is bent, this isn't a reed, but it's a plant, and if the branch is bent, he will not break it. It's amazing. Sometimes you go to remote places in the countryside, or even a very quiet remote alley in a big city, and a car was parked there, and somebody decides to scratch it, and another person decides to hit it with a stick, and another one throws a stone at the window, and all that damage happened because of some instinct of destruction that somehow pervades some people, and the experience of the satisfaction of that type of dominion, it's a destructive dominion, seems to be a fulfillment for some people. And this text of establishing justice, so what do you do in those situations with these kind of people? And usually the first thing you do is you shout and you say, what are you doing? Lay off! You know? So, and then you get aggressive, more aggressive. We have a great ability to become aggressive. And there's some people that are very placid in their external manner, but they could have a tremendous amount of aggression inside in their heart, in their thoughts, even though they would never dare to express it for all kinds of different reasons and motivations. Maybe it's politically incorrect to be angry, maybe in some circles, maybe it's embarrassing. So he will not rest until he establishes justice. And if we skip forward And actually the psalm then also comes in very handy there now. It says, God will bless his people with peace. And so you cannot have peace without justice. Where there's injustice, disrespect for people, disrespect for property, disrespect for human rights, then there won't be peace. There can't be peace. Because there's going to be upset, there's going to be inconformity, there's going to be pushback, there's going to be tension. So the Lord will bless his people with peace. So God has this huge plan. But the way he is going about it is amazing. And he's been preparing a key player who is also an amazing character, John the Baptist. And one of the great things about John the Baptist is he knows his place. And there are a bunch of times when he says, I am not the one. I am not he. Many times when people give us a lot of attention, we like to take it all and build ourselves up. And yesterday we had that reading as well. I must decrease so he increases. And today we have the expression, I'm not worthy to untie the thong of his sandal. He knows his place in the big plan. He knows his place. Look at this bird knows its place as well. Who knows the name of that bird? Well, that's it. The bird is gone. But the most amazing thing of all is Jesus knows his place. He asked to be baptized. And in John's logic, that doesn't figure, because John is not worthy to untie the thong of his sandals. But in both of them we see an extraordinary level of humility. And I wonder, when we see injustice, what do we ask for? What do we ask our politicians for? Our church leaders for? How do we react? Do we know our place? Do we know our role? Do we know what's the call of this particular moment? Or do we take over, take action, command, dictate, condemn, mock, ridicule, slam dunk, incarcerate, imprison, execute, punish? And it's very interesting to see how the path is very different, the path of salvation. As much as there have been strong words of bringing rule and order and justice to be in the scriptures, the concrete physical path and realization has happened in a very different way. It has happened through humility. It has happened through an incredible respect for the other person and a very acute awareness of who we are and what our place is. This has been the path of, and it's very hard for us to learn this. It's hard for me. Of course I get annoyed when I see things wrong. But the path of peace and justice is a path of humility. It's a path where grace is at work. Yesterday I was telling people about the little baby that was born to a couple who got married a couple of years ago here in Haifa, and they sent me a picture. He used to be a chef in Notre Dame in Jerusalem, and just the delight these parents have in their little baby. The Lord takes delight in his people, and that's the expression we see today in the gospel. The very closing line is, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." And he would come here at the Sea of Galilee after the baptism in such gentleness, in such discretion. So what does it mean for me to be baptized? I enter into union with this Jesus. And sometimes when people say, "I'm Christian, I have it all, you need to do it my way," but the Christians actually who have made the biggest impact are like Mother Teresa, who didn't shout, who didn't scream, who didn't do anything except pick up dying lepers in the streets of Calcutta. And so many other thousands, tens of thousands, millions. I met a man yesterday, extraordinary man, and he founded an institute here to help children who have great difficulty in learning. And he didn't go to do formal studies. I mean, that's not irresponsible either, but it is also responsible when one goes into areas to get well prepared. But he has a very beautiful gift at this. And he has grown in with experience, and obviously he has a whole team working with him now. And but the amount of good. And the Institute, it's a program for children from, I think, 4 to 8. And then they have other activities in the afternoons and the evenings, and then on weekends it turns into almost like a little mini hotel, and the parents come and drop off the kids, and they're well taken care of, and the parents have a little break because they need that break when they have children that have extra needs. You know, what a beautiful thing to see this attitude, this redemptive attitude, this helpful attitude. This is the path of redemption. Became a nice path. Now look at our path. So people, I think God wants to be, and is completely wanting to be totally delighted in every single human being made in his image and likeness. And our baptism is deeply connected with that whole big goal of God to renew the world. And so today maybe a thought can be that we want to grow a little bit in more humility. We can always keep growing in humility. We can always develop that virtue, just like our muscles can develop, our speech abilities can develop, everything can develop in our lives. And so we see Jesus there in the Jordan River getting baptized among the sinners who were repentant. Something he didn't need to do because he was always pleasing to the Father. But there we have it. People, have a wonderful, beautiful Sunday. God bless you. See you later, alligators. Look at that water, look at that light. Isn't that amazing?